What's up, everyone? I hope everyone's doing good. I kind of want to talk about something that I kind of write about quite a bit, uh, and it has to deal with changing, right? And a lot of times we talk about changing, but it's not really changing per se. It's more or less what are you becoming? And something I've started to learn, and what I'm going to share with you is something that's just kind of developed, and I didn't even realize that it was happening. And I'm just trying to put it all into words, uh, and just let's see how this turns out, right? So it's not, you're not changing, you're actually becoming. So when it comes to transformation, and I don't care what kind of transformation. One thing you can focus on is that will guide you through this entire process of transformation, whether you're at the beginning of it, in the middle, or needing something to kind of help you push you through. And that one thing is connecting to your values, right? Sounds simple. Boom, we're done. Cut the tape. That's it. But, I'm talking about the stuff that makes you want to wake up instead of hitting the snooze button every morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 5 values that took me from drunk every single weekend, destroying my life, to someone my daughter actually referred to as Gideon level transformation, right? And more importantly, I'm going to help you find yours. So grab a pencil and paper, right? Or whatever you use for taking notes, because you're going to have some homework to do. All right, here we go. Just because I don't know what to call this, I'm just gonna right now just call it. It's just kind of a placeholder, the value architect framework. And the first thing we're going to talk about is presence. And in presence, it's being, present in the moment. There were so many times I can remember just going through life, and actually I'm physically there, but mentally I am somewhere else, right? I don't. I'm just not taking part in what's going on. But when I talk about presence, it comes back to, we start talking about, what are you avoiding? And what presence means for transformation. Presence is about stop the running. And what happens? We run from conversations, we run from mirrors, we run from doctor's appointments, we run from bank accounts, we run for the mailbox, pink letters, from that one room in our house, from certain photos, from phone calls. And what happens? We become like professional avoiders. I was a professional avoider. If there was a job for that, I would be a millionaire. But here's the mindfuck, right? Everything you avoid grows in power. It gets stronger. That unopened mail, man, it becomes a monster. That unspoken truth, it becomes a cancer. That mirror, it becomes your enemy. And so presence means turning around and facing the stuff that scares you. Because the moment you look at it directly, it loses its power over you. That's something I've learned over through this time of transformation, is if you name it and face it, it loses power. So right now, this is what I want you to do. Just write one thing you're avoiding. The first thing that popped in your brain, write it down. All right? It could be that conversation that you've been avoiding, the scale, a phone call, an appointment. Write it down right now. Make it visible, and let people know that let it know that you see it. For years, man, I avoided my kids, right? And now I try to talk to them every day in some form of fashion. It could be just sending a real quick text, anything. Not because I should, because I realize every day that I don't is a day I can't really get back, right? And when you write that thing you're avoiding down, you're already doing what I couldn't do for years, admitting it exists. That's day one right there. I have a laundry list of things that I have been avoiding, that I've been knocking off and checking that box off. And I tell you what, you grow in power. We'll talk more. I'll probably write about that later on, because it is a powerful thing. Second thing, identity. Who do you become? Right? What identity means for transformation. Identity isn't some woo-woo, find yourself kind of crap that's out there. It's about the gap between who you think you are and who your actions say that you are. Most people live with this massive identity gap, and they think they're ambitious, but what happens? They sleep until noon. They think that they're good parents, but haven't had a real conversation with the kids in months. think they're healthy but can't climb stairs without gasping. Identity transformation means closing that gap, becoming congruent, right? Making your actions match your self image, or changing your self image to match who you want your actions to prove, who you are. And here's the question: if you woke up tomorrow with amnesia and all you had was your calendar, your bank statements, and text messages from last week, who would you think that you were? Write it. Be honest. No one's judging because we're all messed up here, right? My story 90 days ago, those things would have shown a drunk failure who drunk texts and can't remember what I did the night before. Waking up wondering how much trouble am I actually in. Now, I'm a dude who gets up before the sun and I start building stuff. Right? You do something, and when you do that, you're doing something I couldn't do for 10 years, and that's look at the truth. And you know what that makes you? It makes you dangerous. Because people who can see truth can change it. The next one is embodiment, right? Being at peace with who you are. And what embodiment means for transportation, embodiment is about being okay with who you actually are. Whether that is being fat, being skinny, being mean, being nice, being bitter, being happy, whatever you are right now. Most people can't sit alone with themselves for even 5 minutes. They can't look at themselves in the eye, not because of how they look, but because they're running from who they become. I got this friend of mine, and she's wonderful, great, talented, extremely smart, all those things, man. But she keeps running from like relationship to relationship, and so I was talking to her the other day, and she went through this breakup, and all this stuff happened. And then we had this conversation. I was like, you need to sit alone with yourself for, a moment or so, learn to live with yourself and love yourself. And that's really hard for people to do, right? What do? We stay busy, we stay distracted, we stay numb, anything to avoid facing the person they are when no one's watching. And so the gap between who they pretend to be and who they know they are, that's what's killing them. So embodiment means stopping the running and actually meeting yourself, right? So here's the exercise, sit with yourself right now, no phone, no distraction. Who you are when no one's watching. What parts of yourself do you hide, right? One word for what you're avoiding about yourself right now. For 10 years, man, I pretended I was fine. Successful business, good father, had it together, but I couldn't be alone with myself for 30 seconds without reaching for something. It could have been food, phone, work, whatever. And you know why? Because alone meant facing what I'd become, the bitter parts, the angry parts, the parts I was ashamed of. And when I finally stopped running and actually met myself, all of it, the ugly included, that's when everything changed. Not because I became different, because I stopped pretending I wasn't who I was. The truth, that word that you just wrote down, that thing you're avoiding about yourself, that's not your weakness, man. That's your prison key, right? It gets you out. The parts of yourself you can't accept are running your entire life. Most people, man, they die never having made peace with who they actually are. You just named it. Now you can stop running from it. That's embodied peace, man. That's warrior spirit right there. The fourth thing, legacy. What story will be told? And what legacy means for transformation, legacy isn't what you leave when you die. It's what people absorb from you while you're alive, right? It's a story being written about you in real time by everyone else that is watching you live your life in real time. Your kids, your friends, your coworkers, they are all mentally writing your story. Your legacy is being put into ink or pencil based off of the actions that you perform and the things that you do. And here's the brutal truth, man. They're writing based on what you do and not what you say. You can talk about being reliable, but if you're always late, your legacy is undependable. You can preach about health while drinking yourself to death and your legacy becomes hypocrite. Legacy transformation means becoming someone whose story others want to tell. If your kid or future kid or nephew or whomever had to describe you, you know, define you to their friend in one sentence, what would that one sentence be? And what do you want them to say? Write it down, man. My story, my daughter used to describe me as, who knows, I avoided her. I don't know. Now she told someone I'm going through Gideon level transformation. That shift, that's worth every 3:30 a.m. wake up, right? The gap between those two sentences you just wrote, that's your roadmap, man. That's where, you put rubber to the road, and that's what you're going towards. And you basically just created your own transformation GPS right there. Most people die never knowing the destination. Next thing is magnetism. What life are you trying to, what are you attracting? Let's put it that way. What magnetism means for transformation. Magnetism isn't about being attractive. It's about becoming someone who attracts the life that they want. Right now you're a magnet, right? But what are you attracting? Drama, chaos, mediocrity, disappointment, right? You attract what you are, not what you want. If your life is full of toxic people, you're radiating something that draws them in. If opportunities keep passing you by, you're repelling them somehow. Magnetism transformation means changing that frequency, man. Becoming someone who naturally attracts health, wealth, love, and opportunity because that's what you radiate about you. Think of it this way. By August 2026, what room do you want to walk into and own? Be specific, man. It could be your wedding. It could be a high school reunion. It could be a boardroom. It could be a beach. Write it down. Every single room you just named, you already started walking toward it. Because naming it means you believe you deserve to own it. That's the secret, man. Believing you deserve it. Okay, so here's what happens next, right? You're going to feel pumped up for about 10 minutes. Then your brain is going to tell you all the reasons this won't work for you. That's 100% normal. That's the resistance. So before that voice kicks in, I want you to do three things. Choose one value from what you just covered, the one that hits you in the gut, write it with the number, just number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make one decision. And make that one decision for tomorrow morning that aligns with that value that you wrote. Not 10 decisions, one, right? Could be setting your alarm 30 minutes earlier. It could not checking your phone first thing. It could be looking in the mirror. It could be just one thing, And follow this journey, right? Just follow the journey, keep going, keep adding, keep pushing things. And what you'll know is sometimes you don't even know what it is to do. For me, the first thing was clean my damn apartment. That was literally how I started. I was like, I got to clean my apartment. And that cleaning that apartment led to so many other things. It's just like when you go and you accomplish one thing, you start accomplishing more. And then all of a sudden it's like you got like little tiny tunnel vision, especially when you're at the beginning and you really can't see. It's just you can't see anything, and the more you do, the wider and wider. Right, all of a sudden, your scope and your vision and everything just starts getting larger and larger and larger. And all of a sudden, you're like, "Man, I can take care of this. I can take care of that. I can take care of this. I can do this." Right? It just starts with those small little things. So, you want to know the difference between people who change and people who don't. The ones who change, they're not special. They're not more disciplined. They're not stronger. They just connected to their values deeply enough that the pain of staying the same became worse than the pain of change. And today you just did that. You connected. You named your values. You identified your gaps. You're not watching someone else's transformation story. You're writing your own. It's day 90 for me. And some stuff that I've been going through. What day is it for you? Let me know. And just remember, every single time you start to get sidetracked, come back to these values that you have, that you connected to, and ask yourself, if I did this today, is that going to get me closer to what I think I should and become, or is that going to set me back and push me back? All right, guys, that's all I got for today, man. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope it's a good day for you. If you like, subscribe, all that crazy stuff. I don't even know why people say that anymore. Everybody knows what to do. All right, man. Have a great day. That's it. That's all I got. I'm going to post what I just said down below in case you're the reading type. All right. Have a great day. Adios.